Hi, everybody. This is Kathleen Walker. I'm at the McDonald's on Austin Avenue in Coquitlam. This is October 23rd, 2023. And I'm just reporting on my experience of fighting for the rights of my brother with Down syndrome, Paul Cairns. So this was one of the toughest weeks I've ever had in my life. After fighting since February 1st of 2022 to be appointed Paul's committee or legal decision maker, the judge on Wednesday gave his ruling at the Supreme Court level of the courts in British Columbia and said that my sister, my 81-year-old nun sister, 4,000 kilometers away in North Bay, Ontario, is going to be the decision maker and not me. That's it's a significant break in British Columbia law. It's the first time in history that I have found where somebody outside of British Columbia is appointed a decision maker of a resident of British Columbia. It's extraordinary. And, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming from the moment, basically, I walked into the courtroom on August 1st. The judge, the public guardian trustee of British Columbia, who's sort of the bureaucratic decision maker for default bureaucratic decision maker, said whoever could get along with L'Arche is the person, the party that they would support. And I worked for L'Arche. I provided free labor for them for many years, caring for my brother on the weekend and paying all his the costs associated with that for 10 years. But I got lupus in 2014. I couldn't do that anymore. And I had to focus on survival. I had a heart attack and kidney failure and I shouldn't have survived, but somehow I did. And I was able to reconnect with Paul in 2021 and discovered that L'Arche had created a secret. I now know L'Arche had created a secret, they call a representation agreement, where they said Paul appointed this nun sister in Ontario as his decision maker. They did that because they wanted to give him the COVID-19 vaccine. And my other sister in British Columbia, who has cared for Paul, is anti-vaxxer. I want to say a rabid anti-vaxxer, but that's what she is. Anyways, so this week was a very tough week, but today I spent getting organized. The same day the judge made that judgment, I filed 2 appeals. One against his decision dismissing my appointment as committee, and one against him appointing my nun sister committee. So now there's 3 appeals against him at the Court of Appeal. And today, it's a Saturday, and I got up like 6 o'clock this morning and started organizing all the documents and files and getting ready to file the necessary documents to appeal that decision. Today would normally be, or according to the agreement that I had with L'Arche, it would be the day that I would have a visit with Paul at my home, which they don't allow. So what I wanted to say today is that Elon Musk came out this week and he said that these types of citizen reporter stories, like what I've been posting here with you, are the greatest development of the internet and the modern technological age. And I think he's right, because I contacted every single mainstream media outlet you could think of: CBC, CTV, Global, Toronto Star, Vancouver Sun, Vancouver Province. None of them are the slightest bit interested. They're only interested in getting taxpayer funding from the government to not to speak truth to power, but to suck up to power. I've blocked CBC and CTV, and I never watch their news. But so Elon Musk, this is for you. Thank you so much for making Twitter available for us to post our stories. So I'm doing this. I'm fighting this fight, and these are the Goliaths. This is a David and Goliath fight, and I'm David, or Paul and I together are David, and the Goliaths are these groups. I made a list. So there's something called Community Living British Columbia, which is a Crown corporation. It's an organization that is part of the government of British Columbia, and they pay L'Arche's bills, like virtually 100%. They pay L'Arche, I estimate, $25,000 a month, not a year, a month, to care for Paul. So that's Community Living British Columbia. They have their own lawyer from the Attorney General of British Columbia. And then there is L'Arche Greater Vancouver, which is part of a multinational government, non-governmental organization that governments, I've told you all along, governments love L'Arche because they sort of have a quasi-religious ring to it, but they're not at all religious. They were founded, everyone now knows, they were founded by a disgraced sex predator named Jean Vanier, who was a Canadian naval officer, pretended to care about disabled people, and set up group homes so that he could prey on the workers, the young immigrant. Their stock and trade is young immigrant workers, young immigrant women workers, and so Jean Vanier and his cohorts at L'Arche would prey on these women. It didn't come to light until 2019 after he died, so nobody dared to come forward. That's the kind of heft and power that L'Arche has. So the third Goliath is the Public Guardian Trustee of BC. They're used to dealing with the most vulnerable of the vulnerable, and they're used to getting their own way. The Public Guardian Trustee brought an application against me because I know how to get freedom of information requests through the government, and I found out that, from what I can tell, that the Public Guardian Trustee made a secret deal with my sister where they would not investigate the power of attorney that L'Arche created, naming her giving her my brother's Paul's decision-making powers. So they had a secret deal where I got a court order that directed the Public Guardian Trustee to investigate this secret document, and I found through freedom of information requests, which are very difficult to go through. It's very difficult to do. It was I think 2,000 or 3,000 pages that I had to read, but I discovered that the Public Guardian Trustee had a secret deal with my sister, the nun, and they agreed they wouldn't investigate the document as required by two different judges, directed them to investigate it. And not only did they not investigate it, they would allow her to terminate all Paul's visits with me and my visits with him using the secret document. And so, of course, the Public Guardian Trustee flipped out. They brought an application against me and got special costs awarded against me, payable no matter what happens. And then finally, there's my sister is a nun, has been a nun since 1959, with the Sisters of St. Joseph of Sault Ste. Marie. Now, that's a complicated name. They're actually in North Bay, Ontario, 2025 Main Street in North Bay, Ontario. They've run, I think, for maybe 100 years or so, run residential schools for First Nations children. And I know because I actually attended one of their schools for 6 months. So they've made a S-load of money and land from the government running these residential schools. So they're a bottomless pit with more money than sense. And people say, well, why is your sister fighting so hard for some guy that she only met a handful of times in her life? And the reason is she's got the money and the foolishness to spend on it and to make she's a malignant narcissist, in my view. She's well, she's a malignant narcissist. You don't need to put a name on it. She's a power-hungry person who's will not relinquish power. It's as simple as that. And the government like having somebody with no real advocacy skills or intent pretending to be Paul's spokesperson. So that's it for today. I accomplished a lot today. I got my documents all organized and put into binders. I'm ready for this fight, and we're going to win. I have no doubt about it. We're going to win because I'm fighting for you, and I'm fighting for my brother. There's that song by Billie Eilish, "What Was I Made For?" And it's a beautiful song. You should listen to it. But this is what I was made for. I was trained as a psychologist. I worked for the government as a psychologist with profoundly mentally disabled people for 3 years. Then I went on to become a federal prosecutor and then a family lawyer for 23 years. So this is what I was made. This fight is what I was made for. Paul, I love you. I miss you so much today, dear. I have a big pumpkin for you. I have a special bucket for your Halloween goodies. I have hundreds and hundreds of books and art supplies and things. I've cleaned up your room and got it all organized. It looks so nice. You just won't believe. I've got everything organized so nicely. I can't wait to show you, dear. And take care. I love you. I miss you. Have a wonderful day.